Okay, I know a lot of you guys can relate to this.
Oh yeah.
Back troubles. Do you have some back troubles? Well, we've got all the answers for you this morning with Dr. Mark Hackbarth from Precision Spine Care. And he's going to be telling us some ways that we can prevent this from even happening in the first place. All right.
Well,
nice to see you again.
Nice seeing you too.
I haven't seen you in quite some time. But I saw you, what was it, last afternoon?
I think so.
Okay. Well, first of all, let's talk about, say we don't have back pain. What are some things that we can do to prevent this from happening to us?
Well, I think prevention is probably the #1 thing that we need to do. It's much easier to keep from having a problem and to having to try to treat a problem. There's several risk factors for back and joints. For back pain, one of the major risk factors is tobacco, nicotine, any kind of smoking. So if you're a smoker, you're at increased risk of having disc problems. The other thing is just proper body mechanics. A lot of people do a lot of lifting. Repetitive lifting and bending can wear and tear on your disc. And then particularly difficult is lifting and turning at the same time, and that puts an extra stress on those discs where they can actually rupture, and then you have back problems with sometimes some sciatica with that. So those are some of the major things. A lot of times people in the healthcare industry typically have a lot of back problems because they don't lift properly. They tend to lift in awkward positions, and they don't lift with their legs. So mainly lift with your legs. And then if you do lift with your legs, don't then just lift and turn, but move your whole body and then let the object down. And I think that helps. Other thing is for joints, if you're going to be, say, a runner, you want to try to run on a track or a treadmill. Running on the concrete is probably very good for your cardiovascular, but it's going to be really doing some damage on your joints later on. And the problem with your health is a lot of times you don't see the results of what you've done until, say, 20 or 30 years later. So a lot of times those old football injuries may not creep up until somebody's in their 50s. So, a lot of times car accidents and things like that, you can have some soreness immediately, get over it, but then it may reappear later on.
So say you're running outside and you're like, oh, my knees don't hurt. You're saying that you could probably feel that years down the road.
Right, with repetitive, if just a one-time thing's not a big deal, but if you do repetitive running, you're better off doing it on a treadmill or a soft track or something of that sort.
Okay.
Or better yet, even swim.
Oh, swimming's good.
Yeah.
Think of arthritis now. I guess obviously there's issues with that, with can be in joints, right?
Right.
And is that something that can be inherited or?
For sure. There's a lot of people that have inherited problems with their joints. A lot of times people have connective tissue disorders such as rheumatoid arthritis and lupus that can have a genetic basis, and they can have a lot of joint pain. Staying healthy, staying active really goes a long ways. Proper diet. Obesity will play a big problem with joints. People that are very overweight will have a lot of hip and knee problems. So if you want to prevent from having a lot of hip and knee problems, keep your weight at a reasonable level. The people that are very obese will typically have a lot of hip and knee problems. People that do a lot of work with their arms and such, a lot of times can have some shoulder difficulties. But usually the shoulders aren't that bad unless, for whatever reason, you've overstressed them and such.
Okay, and if we want to go visit you at Precision Spine Care, where are you located?
We're on the 2nd floor at Texas Spine and Joint Hospital.
Okay, well, that's easy enough.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much for stopping by. I'll probably see you in a couple hours.
Nice seeing you again.
Okay, well, coming up next year on Fox 51 today, the blue jeans and ball gowns event.